And they realize early on if it's not something that works, that it needs to be modified. And I think, just as you said, often they're coming up with angles and approaches you never even realized were in the materials, just because they've had to look for some way, especially if they like an idea, they'll look for other information to support it that you sometimes don't realize is there, and it ends up being, I think, a stronger case as a result of their input and their initiative.
Other questions?
So if you're just starting a team, are there any other good resources besides what was provided by the bar, or what would you suggest as kind of the key places to find good materials?
So by resources, what do you mean?
Like in addition, any of the list of evidence or any of the things you're talking about, in addition to what is in the binder, are there any good resources for coaches?
Well, you shouldn't need other materials. Like, you're not going to pull the full federal rules of evidence, and it's really just what you have in front of you that you're dealing with. And that's something, too, that attorney coaches, especially new attorney coaches, need to be reminded of, that we're limited to what's presented there. I would say other coaches are great resources, and scrimmaging, I just really can't overestimate, I think, how helpful that can be. We also, a few years ago when I was just starting the team, worked with and worked close to Madison. So we worked with the UW Law School, or I'm sorry, the UW mock trial team. And those students were really helpful. There's a limit to how much they can help just because their program is different. The way that college level mock trial is run is different. But it really can be great for the kids to have kind of a mentor that can help them in that way. So as far as other materials, I have a law dictionary that we use that the kids get out. We got it out the other night, and we're, reading through, talking about, what's a principal, all those kinds of things, what's an agent. So I guess from my perspective, that's really the only materials outside of the binder that we use to a great extent. So
The other thing that I think would be very helpful if you have it, actually we do this every year. Even though we've had a program for a long time, we will get the DVD of the state final competition from the year before and have the kids watch it. The new students benefit greatly by seeing something before they start getting into these materials. And you can get that from the state bar, and you can get any of the prior years. So if can't you, Marcia?
We don't necessarily have the DVDs, but I know last year, and most of them are on the WISI website, www.wisi.org. And if you just go into their archives, so you go back to March 13th, 14th, it's usually there. If anyone has difficulty, let me know. We do have
I think it's a
some
searchable
years.
database, too. So I think
Yes.
if you type in mock trial in their database,
That's correct.
And don't let your kids be intimidated by what they see. They're going to say, "Holy cow! How are we ever going to get to this point in time, to that level?" Tell them. We tell the kids that come into mock trial, look, you may not know anything about law. You may not know anything about trying a case. You may not know anything about any of this stuff. But I promise you, by the time we get to regionals, you're going to be ready to try a case. You're going to learn a lot between now and then. So have them look at it, but don't have them think, "Oh my gosh, we could never do that. Let's quit." Just tell them, "We'll get there. We'll teach you what you need to learn. We'll get to that point in time, or we'll get there."
I would also, one other quick comment. We do have online from previous mock trial coaches conference. We've done a presentation on the rules of evidence, and that is on the wisbar.org/LRE, but it is on our website. So there are a number of resources on that website as well.
Okay.
I think that what we're going to do, if we can ask you just to hold your questions. We want to stay as much on time as we can, and we're a little bit over, but we are at the end of the day. We also are going to open it up to questions and discussion for anything. So I think we thank Janel and Kevin